You were not created to live in scarcity. You were not born to survive on the margins of life, begging for crumbs of recognition, waiting for chance to drop an opportunity into your lap. You were designed with the power to imagine, create, and transform. Inside you lies an ancient, invisible, and powerful force, the same one that guided giants like Edison, Ford, Carnegie, and Disney. But this force doesn't shout. It whispers. It reveals itself when you silence the noise of the world and start listening to yourself. The human mind isn't just a repository of thoughts. It's the workshop where reality is forged. Everything you see around you, skyscrapers, airplanes, bridges, ideas, fortunes, legacies, was born in the mind of someone who refused to accept the obvious, someone who chose to rewrite their reality before reality consumed them. It doesn't matter how far you are from the life you dream of. What truly matters is where your mind is positioned. Because you don't move first with your feet, you move with vision. It's your internal clarity that maps your journey. Most people live like mental castaways, waking up directionless, reacting to what happens, accepting mediocrity as inevitable. But you're not here by accident. If you're hearing these words, it's because there's a call inside you that refuses to die. And that call is telling you, wake up, take command, become the author of your existence. You have the power to erase, rewrite, and imprint new meaning onto everything you've lived until now. And this ability doesn't depend on luck, degrees, or circumstances. It depends on one act: deciding. The first step to rewriting your reality is understanding that nothing changes externally until something shifts internally. The mind is the projector. The world is the screen. Most try to fix the screen without realizing the film is playing from within. If you want more money but secretly believe you're unworthy or incapable, every effort will be sabotaged by your own frequency. The mind doesn't deliver what you want. It delivers what you believe. If you believe you're weak, your mind will show you proof of weakness everywhere. But if you decide to believe you're strong, even before you feel it, your mind will start presenting opportunities, insights, and strengths that were once dormant. Because belief isn't an outcome, it's a starting point. It's the trigger that ignites transformation. Mental discipline isn't about forcing positivity. It's about training your focus to see beyond the obvious. It's easy to get lost in past failures, the negative voices echoing in your memory, or the traumas that made you doubt yourself. But all of this can be reframed. You are not the pain you've lived through. You are the meaning you choose to give it. The mind has the power to turn defeat into lessons, falls into momentum, rejection into strength. But this power must be activated. It must be fed with new words, ideas, and habits. This isn't about ignoring reality. It's about facing reality as an unfinished canvas and remembering you hold the brush. Every day, you're writing your story, even when you think you're just surviving. Every thought is a seed, every belief a brick, every action a line in your script. And the question is, what story are you telling yourself? One of someone born to repeat patterns, or someone born to shatter them? Someone who settles for what they're given, or someone who demands what they deserve? Because in the end, the universe doesn't give you what you ask for with words. It gives you what you demand with conviction. And conviction isn't born from doubt. It's born from decision. When you firmly decide your life will be different, reality begins to bend. Circumstances shift, people appear, paths emerge. But none of this happens before the internal decision. This is the time to wake up, to step out of autopilot, to stop repeating the world's programming. You were trained to obey, fear, and follow. The safe path. But the safe path never built legends, never created impact, never fulfilled dreams. The safe path is the cradle of mediocrity. And you were not born to be mediocre. Inside you is a spark of the divine. a flicker of genius waiting for permission to shine. And the only permission needed is yours. When you finally say, enough, when you decide to rewrite your destiny, you align with the invisible laws that govern everything. You stop swimming against the current and start riding the tide. You don't need anyone's permission to change. You only need courage. Courage to see yourself as you truly are. Courage to admit what you truly desire. Courage to drop excuses and take responsibility. And above all, courage to believe it's possible. Because belief is the first act of rebellion against an ordinary life. When you believe, you break the mental chains that bind you. You silence the voice that says you can't and amplify the one that says, try again. And every time you try, even if you fail, you're sculpting the mind of a winner. There's no failure where there's true intent, only learning, only evolution, only progress. And progress is the measure of life. Your mind is the most powerful tool you own, but like any tool, it can lift you to greatness or bury you in despair. It depends on how you use it. Think about it. All the world's prisons began with a single idea. So did all empires. Everything starts in the mind. If you feed yours doubt, it will paralyze you. But if you feed it vision, clarity, and purpose, it becomes an unstoppable engine. Most live as if reality is a life sentence. But reality isn't a sentence. It's a choice repeated daily. What you choose to think, feel, and do builds your tomorrow. Thinking small doesn't protect anyone. Modest dreams don't prevent failure. They condemn you to a life that will never truly be yours. This isn't about wanting more. It's about understanding you already are more. The potential within you isn't something to acquire, it's something to activate. That's why so many lie frustrated. They feel deep down they're meant for more but don't know how to access it. The secret lies in disciplined thinking. Rewriting your reality requires repetition, intention, vigilance. Train your mind like a warrior trains their sword, daily, seriously, purposefully. Distance yourself from limiting voices. Disconnect from environments that keep you small. Build an inner space where your greatness can breathe. Because if you don't master your mind, the world will do it for you. Everything you need is already here, not in circumstances, but in how you interpret them. The greats of history weren't lucky. They learned to use challenges as fuel. When Edison failed 1,000 times, he didn't see failure, he saw attempts. When Lincoln lost countless elections, he didn't see defeat, he saw lessons. When Walt Disney was rejected by banks, he didn't see impossibility, he saw persistence. Why? Because their minds were already programmed to win, not by chance, by choice. They chose to nurture a vision so powerful, nothing external could destroy it. That same choice is yours now. Rewriting your reality isn't about denying the past, it's about reframing it. Every pain, mistake, and fall can become raw material for your new self. The problem is, many carry the past as identity. But the past is just a lesson. It doesn't define you. It only shows where you've been. When you grasp this, you stop being ashamed of your story and start using it as a foundation. Nothing you've lived was in vain. Everything had a purpose. Even the scars. Especially the scars. They prove you survived, that you're still here, that you can still choose. And as long as there's choice, there's power. Clarity is the lighthouse of transformation. While your mind is foggy, your life will be chaos. But when you connect with a clear vision, everything aligns. This clarity doesn't come from outside, it comes from silence. From the moment you stop chasing noise and start listening to your essence. Ask yourself now, what do I truly want? Not what others want for you, not what's expected of you, but what your soul burns for. The answer is already within. It always has been. But you need courage to hear it. And even more, courage to obey it. Because living aligned with your vision is challenging. It will hurt. isolate you, test you, but it will also liberate you. This isn't about changing the whole world at once. It's about changing the world within you, one thought, one habit, one pattern at a time. Each small shift writes a new line in your life story, a line that says, "Here I awakened. Here I chose to be who I truly am." And when you live this way, others feel it. Your energy shifts, your posture changes, your voice transforms. Because now you're someone who no longer repeats the past. You write the future. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop existing and start living. This transition is the birth of true power. You're no longer here to survive. You're here to master. Master your mind, body, focus, and direction. Because life doesn't reward those who wait, it rewards those who decide. While you hesitate, time passes. While you doubt, opportunity escapes. Every time you say later, your greatness weakens. But the moment you say now, something awakens, something ancient, forgotten. A power that's always been there, waiting for you to stop hiding behind excuses. Because deep down, you were made to win. Not because the world owes you, but because life already coded this into you. The code just needs activation, through action, discipline, and conviction. And this demands you rise even when every part of you wants to quit. The reality you live today is a reflection of yesterday's thoughts and emotions. If you want a different tomorrow, plant new seeds today. This isn't poetry. It's science, physics, energy. Every thought is a frequency. Every emotion is a vibration. There's some shapes what you attract, live, and become. That's why changing your life starts with changing your mindset. If you keep thinking as you always have, you'll keep living as you always have. But the moment you decide to think bigger, act boldly, and feel gratitude, even before results appear, you begin crafting a new reality. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start authoring your destiny. Rewriting your reality isn't easy. It's like reprogramming old software. There's resistance, deep patterns, habits fighting to survive. Your old self will resist. But this is where you must be strongest. Real change happens when you persist without immediate results. When you keep going in silence, in doubt. Because, the outer world is a delayed mirror of your inner world. The more you align with your new vision, the more the universe rearranges to materialize it. Not magically, logically. Because what's sustained by faith, discipline, and action inevitably flourishes. You are the architect of your life. The pen is in your hand. The question is, what story will you write from here? One of fear, scarcity, and regret, or one of courage, expansion, and triumph? Because in the end, all you need is a reason strong enough to never look back. Find that reason. Let it be your family, your mission, or your own redemption. Then go all in, cut the ropes, burn bridges with the past. There's only one path now, forward, upward, into who you were born to be. Remember, no one will do this for you. The world may cheer, support, or inspire you, but real transformation begins in the silence of your decision. The moment you choose never to fall asleep again, because spiritual awakening isn't a one-time event. It's a daily commitment. It's looking in the mirror each day and asking, will I hide today or expand? You already know the answer, because something in you is already awake. Something knows it's time. Even if doubt whispers, conviction shouts louder. You were made for this, programmed for this. Now there's only one thing left: act. When you act with the force within, something shifts. Not outside first, but inside, silently, like a flame growing until it incinerates what no longer serves you. Old fears crumble. Seemingly unbreakable limits collapse. Because you're no longer operating from the past. You're now leading with the future's vision. Every step, every broken habit, every choice aligned with your purpose. All of this rewrites your mental programming. You're replacing "I can't" with "I was made for this." Trading. What if it fails? For what if it works? Letting go of others' stories about you and claiming the lead role in your own. This is when life changes, not because the world changes, but because you do. And when you change, everything rearranges to reflect your new vibration. You weren't born to be ordinary. You were born to be unforgettable. Not through fame or wealth to impress others, but through a life that pulses, inspires, and makes sense. Waking up energized, proud in the mirror, resting in the peace of having given your all. Because true success isn't what you achieve, it's what you build within. It's not about proving anything, it's about honoring who you've always been. That's why discipline is freedom, clarity is power, focus is sovereignty, and self-awareness is the master key to all transformation. Your mind can be your greatest enemy or ally. It depends on who's in charge, the limited past or the awakened present. Rewriting your reality demands intention. It demands you stop, living on autopilot, repeating patterns that aren't yours. It demands you observe your thoughts honestly, question your fears courageously, silence external noise to hear your soul's truth. Most live in reaction mode. You must live in creation mode. While others wait for the world to change to feel good, you decide to feel good now, because that's what changes the world. That's vibration, frequency, law. And the universe's laws don't fail. They respond precisely to what you emanate most consistently. So choose wisely what you think, feel, and believe, because this is the raw material of your new reality. The truth is, you've always had everything you need, but no one may have told you. They may have taught you to doubt, to settle, to think success is a privilege for a few. But now you know. Nothing is more powerful than an awakened mind guided by clear purpose and unshakable faith. This combination is unstoppable, and it lives within you. Always has. It just needed room to bloom. You're ready. Not because everything's perfect, but because you've decided it's time. Because you finally understand waiting is self-sabotage. That delay distances you from your mission, that the only real moment is now. And if you have the courage to act now, nothing can stop you. Now that you've awakened to this power, there's no turning back. A mind that expands never returns. To its original size, you can't pretend you don't know. Can't hide behind excuses that once seemed valid. Now you see, with clarity, purpose, and a soul-deep urgency. It's as if something inside you screams, enough! Enough shrinking. Enough procrastinating. Enough cowering before life. You weren't made for this. You were programmed to lead your journey, create your reality, and turn challenges into fuel for greatness. This reprogramming doesn't require changing who you are. It requires remembering who you've always been. Inside, you already exists, the disciplined, visionary, resilient version. It may have been stifled by years of fear, doubt, and distraction, but it never died. It waited patiently for you to say, enough. To tear up the old script and start writing a new one, with your own hand, voice, and truth. This new script begins now, with every decision you make from this moment. When you stop negotiating with your greatness, when you stop seeking external validation and start seeking internal alignment, when you choose to act, even with fear, when you finally understand the only approval that matters is your own. You are the writer, director, and protagonist of your story. Your mind is the stage where everything manifests first. Thoughts generate feelings, feelings generate actions, actions generate results. If you want different results, think differently, feel differently, act differently. It's not magic, it's science, not coincidence, cause and effect. The universe is always responding to you. What you see out there is a reflection of what you sustain in here. So when you change your mind, the world changes with you. But this requires consistency. You can't want an extraordinary life with ordinary habits. You must be the exception, not the average. willing to do what most avoid, to rise when others quit, to persist even when no one applauds. You're on the path of rebuilding. It may be uncomfortable, lonely, even painful at times. But this discomfort births strength. This silence lets you hear your true voice. This space between the old and new is where you meet your essence. Don't fear the void. Don't run from the process. Embrace it. Let it forge your new self. It's in this fire that leaders, visionaries, and unstoppables are shaped. There are no shortcuts to the top, but there is a path, and it starts within your mind. The power to rewrite your reality is in your hands, and the time to use it is now. So take a deep breath, close your eyes and visualize who you're becoming, not who you were or who others expect, but who you choose to be from now on. See yourself walking with confidence, making decisions with clarity, waking daily with a burning purpose. Feel the energy of someone who lives intentionally, focused, disciplined against the world's distractions. Imagine living with absolute integrity between your thoughts, feelings, and actions. This vision isn't a fantasy. It's a plan. A reminder that you already have the tools. Everything you need is within. From this point, doubt has no place. Only movement.